Hey y'all, what's going on? Happy Monday, also known as Indigenous Peoples Day. I guess that's what they're calling it now. We grew up with it being called Columbus Day, but at the end of the day, none of those mean anything. We still don't belong here in America. Um, Listen, I woke up this morning to a bunch of posts coming through my Instagram timeline about Jelani Day and his autopsy results coming in. And, I had to gasp for air. I had to swallow my saliva. I had to take several seats when I realized what all of it was about. I was like, why are they going so hard on Jelani Day today? I know there's been a lot going on with Jelani over the last couple weeks, but why today? Well, apparently his autopsy results came in over the weekend, or maybe it was Friday or Saturday. And apparently we're going to read through a couple of the articles that I have here. I have something from Hollywood Unlocked. I also have something here from the Chicago Sun-Times. And we're just going to read these articles and just, talk about why it is so important for us to repatriate from wherever we came from right now. And we don't have time to wait. We can't afford to be exterminated in this here America, in this here United States of America. To be honest, that's exactly what's happening. I mean, the best and the brightest in our community are being targeted and taken out. And that could be several of your family members one day. That could be any of you guys one day. And, not to scare people, but this here America was built for a purpose, and it was not built to serve you niggas and you bitches. It just was never built for that. It was built for white dominance, a white supremacy experiment, because nowhere in the world have white people ever reigned supreme. I mean, they literally have the lowest numbers throughout the world in terms of population. This here America was an experiment to see how well a white underclass could transform itself and basically become a dominating caste system, and create its own dominating caste system over here in a place that we were taught was empty. But if you know anyone who is mestizo, or anyone who is of Native American blood, as I do, and know they were not black, I know a lot of us want to hold on to that, but there weren't that many dark-skinned Native Americans in terms of color. They had a brown tone, a copper tone, but at the end of the day, they were not Africans. So we can dispel that myth. But if you know any Native Americans who are from here, I have a lot of friends who are of Mexican descent, and they have mestizo blood, and Arawak, and all of that, and Mayan, Aztec. If you know any of those people, then you know for a fact that when they say caravans are on the way, those people want their land back. And now what we're seeing here is we're seeing a cultural war outbreak in this country. And I think the worst part about it is that so many African Americans, which are, if we define African Americans properly, they are Black Americans of African descent with skin tones like mine and yours, most likely. And these people here really truly believe that they are indigenous to this land. I mean, on Indigenous Peoples Day, we have a bunch of Black people running around here thinking that they were Native Americans, thinking that they were here before the white man got here, which may have been true. Now, that might have been true. There might have been a couple of exploratory Africans that were here before the white man got here, because us Africans, we knew how to navigate the sea and the land. And these people could barely operate their own compasses. And so, to be honest with you, I could believe that part, but we got to stop holding on to this notion that we belong in this country. We do not belong here. I mean, if I haven't said it before, let me say it again. We do not belong in America. Yeah, we built it. Yeah, we were whipped, chained, enslaved, subjugated. But this here, it doesn't belong to us. Now, let me give you a little example. If you're a contractor and you go and build a house out in Long Island for a Jewish family, do you now have the right to live on that house, in that house? Do you now have the right to find yourself in the house's basement, living in squalor in the bottom of the house? Because that's essentially what we're doing here. We're living in a house that we built, and we barely get to enjoy the top levels of it. We barely get to enjoy the mezzanine floor. That's about as high as we get. We might get into the parlor if we're lucky. But the real reality is that we are not of this place, and we don't belong in this place. So to sit in this place and cry to be a part of it, and to continue to subjugate ourselves and push our Africanness on these people who clearly do not appreciate us and clearly do not care about us, but for our marvelous genes, because we can do so many things physically and athletically. And we also, when mixed up with their genes, provide a level of sun cover that they've never had an opportunity at. Because in no way, shape, or form were you going to find Africans going into the top of Europe, where it was freezing cold and their bones were splintering, to go and give some white person their DNA. That was never going to happen. So this is the first time that you're ever seeing a race of mixed people. Aside from, I would say, the Persian Empire is probably another time where we did see mixed people, because again, that was another situation where you had people coming from Tajikistan and Armenia and all those Abyssinia, whatever, Assyria. Abyssinia, that's supposed to be Africa. Assyria and all these places coming down into areas like Saudi Arabia, Iran, and stuff like that, while we were going up into those areas to do trade. And you might have found some mixed race people back then. That's how you get your standard Arab today. But to be honest with you, we are not contributing to this place in a way that is going to benefit us. Everything that we contribute to the United States of America is robbing us. It is robbing us of our best talents. Brain drain is unbeknownst to man, the way that Black brain drain has supported and continues to support people of no color. And to be honest with you, it is a shame when we see it. It is a shame when we see some of our finest athletes and our finest thinkers being relegated here to the rules of the white man. And to be honest with you, if they choose that, that is a choice that they're making, and there's nothing that can be done about it. But when you see instances like Jelani Day, and you see just how much we are unwanted in this stolen land, I wonder why we continue to beat down the doors of Congress for rules or reparations, when really what we should be doing is repatriation. Like, forget reparations, repatriation. What's up? This is the standard look. This is how I look on a normal basis. Repatriation is what we should be concerned about, not reparations. Because reparations would suggest that we're going to continue to stay here, continue to utilize these broken down systems, continue to be in the bottom and the base of a caste system that is false, genetically false. It really isn't our job to fix America. So my question to you guys is, if we're going to sit here and fix America, why don't we go and fix Africa? Why don't we go and fix the places that we're from? What's up, Alonzo? To me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, because when you see situations like Jelani Day, you recognize that there's only but so much that we can do in this country. We will never be kings and queens in another man's land. First of all, this land does not belong to white people, but it damn sure doesn't belong to Black people. So I think I'm going to need people to stop believing that something marvelous is going to happen in this culture that is broken and fractured. It's never going to happen. Okay, so let's get into Jelani Day. Let's get into the Jelani Day article that I have here. Let me do the StreamYard share, and because I can go on and on about this, how we've been robbed genetically, how we've been robbed for our talents, how we've been robbed of opportunities. But really, if you think about it, we should have been left here. You know, I don't give a damn how crazy Nigeria is. I'm going back home. I got my DNA tested, found out I was 100% Alpha Fulani, and I am going back home, baby. I am going to where the fuck I vibrate. I'm going to where my skin looks best, where my body looks best, where I feel the best, and where everyone looks like me. And the power in that is, if please, the power is unlike any other. I mean, I have a girlfriend, one of my best girlfriends. Her name is Jillian Mayer, and uh, she repatriated back to Germany about 5 years ago, and I went to Germany to see her. And you know, everyone in Germany, wonderful people, wonderful white people in Germany. Don't have anything against them. Everybody asked me if I was going to leave America. I mean, they know better than us that we don't belong here. And that's really sad, because as African Americans, we got to come to the grips with the fact that we were borrowed, we were stolen to create something for other people. And like the contractors who build the house for the Jewish people in Long Island, we don't own the house. We can't stay in the house just because we built it. Okay, we don't own the house. So we have to leave, right? So here, let's get into the Jelani. Let's get into the Jelani article. Let me share this screen with y'all. Hey. All right, let's go to the Hollywood Unlocked, because that's a really quick little article and we can just go through that. So it says, I hope you guys can see this screen that I'm sharing, but it says the coroner reports Jelani Day's organs were missing when he was found. And this was an article from yesterday, Sunday, October 10th. Look at Jelani, a handsome African king. Handsome. On his way to becoming a doctor. And like, not just any kind of doctor, a well-esteemed, apparently this man was good at everything when it came down to his classes, his medical classes, etc., etc. But just look at him. Someone was jealous. Okay. So shocking new details were revealed surrounding the tragic death of Jelani Day. A coroner report states the young man's organs and eyeballs were missing when he was found last month. So they went from not being able to find this man to being pushed to find this man because of this whole Gabby Petito situation. They wanted to make sure that this young boy got as much attention as she got. And look, they were sitting on this information. In an eye-opening report from the Chicago Sun-Times, which we're going to read right now, the LaSalle County coroner revealed Jelani Day's autopsy report, where it described the condition of his body. Day's liver, spleen, and other organs were missing, along with his teeth and eyes. A second report was conducted by the family's private forensic pathologist, who said Jelani Day's jawbone was sawed out. His jawbone was sawed out, guys. Sawed out, right? Sorry, let me jump around. This 25-year-old aspiring doctor's mother, Cameron Bolden Day, said it took about a month to have the permission to see her son, despite his body being positively identified through dental records and DNA samples. His body was finally released to the family on September 29th, so his body could be laid to rest. You dogs. And you guys want to know if we belong here? All right, let's go to the Chicago Sun-Times, which is literally one of the only sources that I can find. It seems like there's no coverage on Jelani's autopsy. And it seems, boy, some things no mother should have to endure. Commemoration of life. Okay, this happened on Saturday. Wow, they had to do it in the high school auditorium. That's interesting. In Peru, Illinois, it was, in a sense, a premature autopsy on an opaque, nearly faceless, scalpless body that even a mother might recognize. This waterlogged corpse in the possession of the LaSalle County Coroner's Office for 24 days. So they're saying it was opaque because if you ever see your skin, if you put your hand in the water for too long, you see that it's like washing out the pigmentation. And so imagine how that looks, guys. I mean, we've watched zombie movies and things. Even after the authorities finally made positive identification, reportedly through dental records and DNA, Carmen Bolin Day still had not been allowed to see the body that the authorities eventually said was her son, Jelani Day, 25 years old. But how could she know if it was her Jelani unless she had a chance to finally lay eyes on the body, even as a decomposed refrigerated shell? How could she know? How could she know for certain in her heart that it was her son, or ever have some semblance of peace and acceptance unless or until she had perhaps had the chance to scan the body from head to toe? A little while to search for signs, no matter how seemingly insignificant, that the autopsy body was indeed her baby boy. Some things a mother knows, some things are unimaginable, some things just don't add up, some things about this case just ain't right because they just ain't right. I love when they get into colloquial speak when they're dealing with Black people. It's funny. It's really funny. Some things make absolutely no sense. Some things only God knows. Some things, even a puzzling mystery, can in time come to the light. The way they write is crazy. But some things no mother should endure, among them having to wait nearly a month for the chance to view a body that might be her dead son. Among them, sensing a lack of urgency by police to initially search for her son, even after his car was found in a wooded area in Peru a day after he had been reported missing. So they found his car a day later. They could have found his body too. They didn't want to look. They didn't want to look because this nigga had no business interacting with anyone who could have potentially even lived in that area. Now, I don't know what happened. I'm not blaming the young man, but Black people, wake up. This is not our country. Okay, also among them, an unnerving, painstaking wait of more than 2 weeks for the authorities at last identify the body, and the perceived lack of empathy shown to a grieving Black mother of a dead or possibly still missing Black son, which in and of itself begs the question, would Jelani Day's case have even been handled differently if he were not Black and male, but a woman who was white and blonde, i.e. Gabby Petito? That's what they're suggesting, all right? Because we know we're not stupid. We're very intelligent people. We know what they're suggesting. This much is clear as black and white, that someone knows what or who brought this handsome, promising young Black male graduate student. So he's already on his way to becoming a doctor. To this town, population of 0.4% African Americans, is 60 miles north of his college campus, where he was studying to be a doctor. So what I heard about Peru, Illinois, is it's something called a sundown town, which means after sundown, they attack Black people. So I'm pretty sure that, I don't know who's living there that's 0.4% Black, but it got to be someone's mulatto grandson. I swear, it got to be. Clear is that someone knows how Jelani ended up floating dead in the Illinois River, and that even as the authorities continue to call the case of Jelani's demise a death investigation, there is something foul about this case that sinks to high heaven and that cries out for answers and for justice for Jelani. Still, okay, so I want to stop there. Now, in my opinion, what would justice be? How did I lose you all? Here we go. Oh my God, I'm like, how did I lose you all? Organ harvesting. I didn't think about that. Actually, it could be that. It is sad. But in my opinion, justice for Jelani would be stringing up any and everyone who was involved that day with Jelani. Right? See, the thing is, whoever knows about this incident was probably involved and doesn't want to implicate themselves. So when you say someone knows something and they need to speak up, what would incline them to do that? I mean, so do we need to promise these white supremacists money in order for them to speak up? So now do they need to be paid to give information? So I'm not really sure what the justice is going to be. There really won't be much justice. All we're going to do is continue to investigate. No one's going to come forward. And if they do come forward, it's going to be because they were paid out, which means that won't be justice. And what is that going to do for Jelani's mom? She's beyond the years where she can probably have another child. And at the end of the day, it's like so promising, this African American young man. What's going to happen? What always happens? We're going to have an outcry in the media. Someone's going to get money, and money is going to be enough to wipe out the legacy of a young Black king. And hey, if that is good enough for you guys and the Black community to accept, then just hand them the money already, and let's just stop wasting time. She's seen her son. She knows that's her son. He's dead. Put him to rest. Put his name to rest. Pay her money. Stop wasting time. These people are not going to come forward. Well, that's for the DNA fingerprints. Is there any way they can find any relevant evidence? I'm sure the people that are investigating know how to do their job. I'm sure they'll find something. They may even have something already that we're not privy to. So I agree with you on that. There's something that can be done, but still waiting. Weeks after Jelani was reported missing by his mother, August 25th, the case had remained unsolved, and the circumstances surrounding his death, a swirling mystery. The dreaded call came nearly a month later in September, as Day was on the phone with her attorney. The other line buzzed. Day answered. It was the LaSalle County's coroner office. She remembers the excitement that filled the coroner's voice as he bubbled with good news about the case. The office had received new dental records. She recalls the coroner telling her, explaining that they were now prepared to possibly make a positive ID. Wait a minute, huh? What? So I would be confused too. Why is this man so giddy on the phone? And it's like, it almost seems as though he was just dying to give her something she could hold on to so that they could just dismiss her. Like, here, look, we found your son. Now get off our backs. Haha, we've got good news for you. I really need to stress to our people that we are not from this land and we don't belong here. We can come here. We can do what the Chinese do. We can come here. We can work a little bit. Then we can take our money back home, whether that's to the Caribbean or to Africa. You make your choice. But we must go somewhere where we vibrate with our people, where we are with our people every day, where the majority of the people on the street look like us. There's not that many Black cities, if there are any Black cities left in the United States of America, where we can actually flourish, be happy, and not be targets of racial profiling, unfair judicial practices, where we can actually have healthy food in a community. And it's not just to blame white supremacists, right? It's also the young people who are confused in their hearts about their situation here in America and don't understand that they're being used as, pawns, from the public school to the prison pipeline, who are out here gunning down everybody. So it's like, if we're not in a situation where young Black men are gunning each other down, young Black men are also trying and aspiring and being gunned down by white supremacists, because essentially at this point, that's what we could deduce based off of this information, that this is a white supremacy act. I mean, his jawbone was sawed out. What's that for? I mean, whose pickle jar is his jawbone going to go into? I know it sounds foul, but it's true. I just want us to be more safe and to start creating. Yeah, absolutely. I hope you can help her out. Thank you, Alonzo. For real. I hope did she call you? Did she reach out to you? Also, I'm thinking that they can tell if the organs were professionally moved out. That to me is really, well, that's a good point you just made, professionally removed. In the U.S., the Black cities are not fair. Everyone says Africa is beautiful, safe place. Absolutely. I mean, I've been walking around like, listen, let me tell you something. Africa, they fine. Oof, Africa, nice. And I'm not saying Africa has to be the place where everyone goes to. I'm just saying that's where we're from, so you might want to go home. But that doesn't mean you can't go to the Caribbean. Plenty African people there. Some of our brightest people are from the Caribbean. Let them go home and build their own communities. It's just really, it's unfortunate. Let's see if there's anything else in here. You guys can read this article. I will drop the link for the article in the chat so you guys can read the rest on your own time. But I just want people to understand where we're at. This here is America. You know, if any of you all were confused about where you're at, you know, this is America. We are in a place where we were never valued, but for more than what we could physically bring to this place. Saying new comments, but I've already seen these comments. It's like, what? Here we go. Yes, she reached out. We spoke for a while. We're meeting on Friday. Okay, good. I'm glad. We're in a place where we're not wanted, but more importantly, we don't belong. Forget being wanted, okay? Who gives a fuck if these white people want us here? Who gives a fuck if these mulattoes want us here? Who gives a fuck if these mestizos want us here? We don't care. We don't care because we're from a better place. We're from a place where things grow easy. We're from a place where food is running around on the ground. We're from a place where we have culture, arts, where we have athleticism and sports, where we have good food, where we have good people, man, my body looks so much better in Africa than it does here. My face, my skin, everything. It just does. This place is too cold. I'll be in Nigeria in another less than 2 weeks. I'll be there. Actually, I'll be there in about a week, and I'll be there for a while because I intend on dying in Africa. Honestly, I really want us to be more mindful of yes. So Blue Girl says, so that YouTuber Gabby Petito gets more outrage from the media than Jelani did. Sad. Well, this is Gabby Petito's country. We were just here to help build it, and they don't give a damn. Right. So once you understand things like that, you realize like this media is a tool. The majority of the media is a tool for the people who not built this place, but who conceptualized this place. Media is a propaganda machine. It always has been. It was a propaganda machine in Nazi Germany. It's a propaganda machine in China right now. It is a tool used by the controlling class. It doesn't have to even be the dominant class. It could be the controlling class. So once you understand what media is, and you know that it's a propaganda machine, what's up? Once you understand what media is, and you know that it's a propaganda machine, then you recognize that the media here is really only here to serve the interests of the controlling class, which are white people, blonde hair, blue-eyed. I mean, some of them got black hair and green eyes. I don't give a damn what they look like. They're not me. They're not melanated. I mean, if we want to get into it, when I got back from Nigeria, on September 10th. My hands were peeling so badly. My feet are still peeling because of the lack of sunlight. I mean, my melanin, like these are the only places in my body that ever peel. I'm dark skinned, beautiful, highly melanated, protected from the sun, etc., etc., etc. But when I got back from Nigeria, my hands and feet were peeling so badly because of I guess what we would consider sunburn, but in my opinion, it's lack of sun. Because if I were still in front of that sun, I wouldn't be peeling, right? The lack of sun, because this place is like, sometimes I feel like I look like a vampire out here. I'm like, what? Wait. I mean, people covet light skin. We've all been in that place as Black people, and I always say, like, I mean, there's no sun protection. And my thing is, like, I always used to get so upset with my mother for choosing this very dark Jamaican, but what I realized was that she did the right thing because she knew in her heart that she was having a daughter who was going to move to Africa. Now I walk around Nigeria, shorts, spaghetti straps, flip-flops, and my skin is perfect and it doesn't burn. And I can handle it. and I look gorgeous because of it. So to be honest with you, in the food, everything is natural. Like even the food that's packaged is better. Now, sometimes you're gonna get some. Like one thing that I noticed out in Nigeria is the dairy. I don't know where they're getting a lot of the cheese from, but a lot of the cheese gives me constipation. So it's not. We have better cheese out here. That is true. Some of the European cheeses are very hard on the stomach, so I try not to eat too much of that. But man, in terms of fruits and vegetables, there's no lack. In terms of um, like last night, I had some jerk chicken from a Jamaican spot out here. It was the first piece of chicken I had since I got back that didn't give me mucus, and that's because my Black people know how to cook. They know how to uh, kill off all the bacteria and to really clean. All the other chicken I had, Popeyes, this, KFC, that, this restaurant, that restaurant, I had mucus. Last night's chicken was amazing because I knew my Black people, my Black African Jamaican people, knew how to clean that chicken, soak that chicken for over a day in some vinegar with some lime or lemon, some warm water, poking holes through it, how we do, taking all the nasty shit out before they put it on a high heat smoker to make the jerk chicken. So we know for a fact that our people know how to even. No, I saw that somewhere. Yeah. Tyson chicken recall. I don't know if you all can see that, but hold on, let me see some. Let me see some, guys. Yeah, seriously, Tyson chicken recall. That's from July. And let me see. There's been so many recalls on food here, guys. Chrome tab. I mean, there's been so many recalls. God, all of these ads. That's another thing that it just gets so frustrating being here. Every time you want to do something, there's advertisements floating by your face. I mean, advertisements that don't do anything but enrich other people outside of your community. It is really disappointing. Okay, so look at this. Walmart, Target, Kroger, Publix, among the stores that sold Tyson chicken products recall for listeria risk. This is July 5th. But I remember an even more recent one. So I want to go to this thing that I just saw while I was searching. What food has been recalled in 2021? Look at this. Just all these foods that have been recalled. Here, Nature's Heart Fruit and Trails Mix. Look, by Nestle. That was just 2 days ago. Parents' Choice Rice baby cereal. Guys, I'm just gonna throw this in the chat because for our safety, we should watch this list. I mean, recalled foods. I mean, guys, come on. How are we supposed to live when they're killing us from within? Look at all this. Chocolate chip cookies. This is aerosol spray. I mean, guys, everything. I'm gonna watch this list. I mean, it won't matter because I won't be here. Taco seasoning blend. Look at this. Lilly glucagon emergency kit. For myself, this is big. Like even our medications. Whole Foods Markets, apple pie and cherry pie. Guys. Bagged kale. Look, guys, look at all the shit that gets recalled. That link, I dropped it in the chat. Hold on to it for your safety. What I'm saying here, I know we've gotten far off topic. We were talking about Jelani Day. But don't be surprised. Don't be surprised at the fact that there's not much coverage. Don't be surprised at the fact that nobody's marching in the streets for him. Just recognize that we don't belong here anymore. We never did belong here, but at least we can say that we've done it once and we can go back and do it again. Instead of helping America rebuild itself, I think it's time for us to go back home and rebuild what is truly ours. Honestly, let's go back home and contribute our big black brains to Africa. Let's go back home and contribute our beauty and our prowess and our social capital to Africa. Let's go back home and give. First of all, they're saying that Africa is the new frontier. I mean, we know that China is on its way to Africa, but for some of you people who haven't been on the continent, I don't really believe that. It's not what you think. There's not a million. It's not like how Jamaica is now. And even Jamaica's got Chinese, a lot of Chinese now, but it's still got a lot more black people. You guys got to stop over exaggerating certain points. One thing about us is we are the fastest and most highly reproductive race, which means that they can come all they want, but we're still going to out-reproduce. We're going to, outproduce them. The way we get down, it doesn't matter. I just want black excellence, and I know black excellence is not possible. No man can be a king in another man's land. It just will never happen. I know there's a lot of conversations on the in the manosphere and the black woman sphere and all these things, and I enjoy them. But what I will say is that we won't be able to do anything that benefits our community if we don't come together, and not just come together here, but come together and go back home. Repatriation is so important because every day that we spend as a diaspora fractured. You see them, girl? Oh my God, almost 2,000 recalled items. Wow. And I think that's just for a small time period we're looking at. I don't know. Let's go to the last page. I'm not sharing it anymore, but the last page goes back to 2017. And yeah, I mean, up from now to 2017, you got almost 2,000 things recalled, and foods that we eat, man. I eat some of those trail mix. I eat nuts. I'm not saying everything in Africa is perfect, but I am saying that if we're going to deal with these problems here in the United States of America, where we are struggling to even get a piece of the pie, might as well we go back home and set up our own FDA. And I mean, a lot of these countries already have systems in place that just need investment, and they need more brain power, and just need our black excellence to return back home. The diaspora is fractured, and if we can find a way to repiece ourselves together and find ourselves in one place, we can truly I won't say dominate, because that's going to take maybe a century, but what we can do is we can create a better sense of belonging, community, and a better sense of identity, and create a healthier living environment for ourselves, with ourselves, and really encapsulate what it means to be Black African. Anyway, so with that, I really do wish the best to Jelani Day's family, but I think Mama knows what happened to her son in her gut, because one thing about Black women is we are intuitively inclined. We have the spirit, we de spiritual. And the fact that we are a spiritual people, we know in our hearts exactly what's going on out here. So she's not confused. What she wants to do is blow the lid off of something, because she believes that that's going to change something. If these people come forward, it's almost a fuck you to her. It's almost like a slap in the face if they come forward, because now it's like, hey, bitch, yeah, I'm the one who did this to your son. Now what you going to do about it? I mean, people may face time in jail, but that's not going to stop other groups of people from carrying this out on other young Black men of excellence and young Black women of excellence. I mean, Black women are missing in this country. Let's look for that. Let's look for the All right, this is from January 20th of 2021. And it says there are 64,000 missing Black women in the USA. And I didn't even click into this yet. I mean, look at this from September 24th, only a couple weeks back. Tens of thousands of Black women vanish each year. This website tells their stories. Last year, the figure was nearly 100,000. They could say what they want about what's going on in the north of Nigeria, but I'm going to tell you one thing. Some of those young girls got returned to their homes. Blue Girl says, Emmett Till's mom made sure her son's name was heard too. She did not play around, and she made sure it was investigated. Okay. And what did we get? What did we get? Blue Girl, I want to know, what did we get as Emmett Till's name rings bells? Ask a little Black boy on TikTok if he knows who Emmett Till is. They don't teach it in the school, so she may have investigated and it may have come down 2 or 3 generations, but the young Black boys who have to understand their place in society don't even know who the hell he was. So what did we get? We have people who are protesting critical race theory being excluded from the, they wanted to continue to be excluded from the educational system here. So what exactly did we get from Emmett Till's mom going through the hell she went through? We know who, we're older, right? We know, I'm in my early 30s. We know exactly who he was, but ask the little Black boys on TikTok who say that they hate dark-skinned women and Black. I don't think who Emmett Till is, and you will realize why it doesn't matter. So what I'm hoping is that Jelani Day, that this situation will help ring the bells of the young African-American men and women so that they can understand where they are in America when they say that they don't want to be with themselves, when they don't want to interact with themselves, when they don't want to come together within themselves. They can understand where we're at. You can see a young Black boy, you can see a young Black man, he was 25 years old, aspiring great and near reaching and attaining that greatness. And you can see that he won't have a legacy now. His legacy will always be that he was slain by some white supremacists. I want the young Black people in this country to see that, because Emmett Till, that's really all that was for us. That was a reminder of who we were in this country. So I'm hoping that Jelani Day will be a reminder of who we are currently still in this country. We are at the bottom of the caste system in this country that is unfavorable to us as Black Africans. And we must continue to push forward, search for our identity. I'm going to go here and do this for you guys. I'm going to do this for you guys because this is very important. AfricanAncestry.com. Number 1, first thing to your African identity is to figure out where the hell you belong. Not everybody belongs in Nigeria. Some people belong in Congo. Some people belong in Cote d'Ivoire. Some people belong in Tanzania. Some people belong in Madagascar, if you are so lucky. Some people belong in Djibouti. Some people belong in Niger. Actually, I met a man from Niger when, in the Radisson in Lagos. I met a man in Niger from Niger. He was cute. His arm was broken. I don't know what happened from working out, he said. But he told me there's so much misconceptions about Niger. Niger's a beautiful place. It's just a lot of flights don't go there. And I think we had the same background. I think he was Hausa as well, because there's quite a few of us that live up there. And he was a businessman in the Radisson Anchorage VI. We were hanging out, me and my homegirl. She's a real estate agent, Dami. Shout out to Damilola. And he was such a pleasure, and he was very good looking. I mean, I spotted him, and he came over and spoke to me, and it was so interesting. And then we traded Instagrams, and he hit me up, and he's like, "You left without saying goodbye." And I just said, I know you're busy. But at the end of the day, he was a man from Niger. I had never met a man from Niger. Like, not Nigeria, but Niger. So what I'm saying is, Yeah. First step is to figure out where in the continent are you from. So discover your roots, right? See? I think I'm going to get my dad this. My mom is gone, but I'll do my grandmother. Get your identity. Figure out your identity. Figure out who you are. Figure out where you belong. Seriously, the swab, it's easy. You send it in. It's great, guys. Figure out where you belong. Look, remember who you are. Let's watch this. Let's watch this real quick, and then I'm going to get out of here after this. See? You are not that. I hope you all can hear this. Watch this, guys. I'm going to leave you guys with this for a second. That's right. That's actually in Brooklyn. That's right down the block from me. That's the gym I go to. That's right there on Fulton Street. Huh. That's right. Yes. They shot that commercial right there in Brooklyn. Ow. I moved to Brooklyn because it was a black city, and now it's changed into something else. It's not what it used to be. It's not what it used to be. I moved to Brooklyn because it was a black place. I was living in a Hispanic place with a lot of mulattoes and white Hispanics, and I wanted to move down to a place where most people look like me. And now that it's becoming a place that looks like someone else, I'm leaving here now. Sorry, I want to be around people that look like me, and you should think the same way. If you are black and you are African, of African descent, because that's the only way to be black. There's no such thing as black if you didn't come from Africa, loser. If you don't understand that, then you're a loser. No. There is no way in hell I'm going to continue to exist in a place where I am, like I went to Guitar Center last night, and normally there's black people in Guitar Center. I don't know where all the black people went, but they were gone. Even my boy that works there don't even live around here no more. I called my engineer, he lives in Miami now. I was supposed to be living in Miami, but I've been in Africa instead, and that's where I'm going to go to. Most people have left this place. Most people that look like me have left this place. The only people still here are the landlords, the black landlords that own things, and the bums. But most black people who are in the middle somewhere, they pretty much have picked up and left here. So I really believe that that's what we're supposed to be doing. And I'm going to go to the most important place, which is my birthplace, which is my home, the place where my genes come from. So sorry, Grandma. I know you want me to sit around New York and hate myself the same way you hate yourself. But what I'm going to do is love myself and send myself back to Africa. And for all of you guys that are looking to repatriate, the first thing to do is go to that website that I dropped in the chat, AfricanAncestry.com, and figure out where you come from, where y'all come from. You know where you're depend, but where y'all come from. Okay, that's the first place, the first thing you must figure out. Okay, I understand that my dad is Jamaican, but my dad thought we were from Ghana. My dad knows we African. My dad is a Jamaican who know we African. He thought we were from Ghana. He had it mistaken. So I'm going to get him the Patra clan for Christmas. And he can figure out exactly where his lineage comes from. But what he's going to find is that he is a Nigerian as well. And I know he told me that when I get married in Nigeria, he's going to come. So I'm quite excited for that, because me and him, we have a fractured relationship. But at the same time, we've always had a good relationship in terms of we think alike. So I look forward to the day where I can repatriate Africa myself, African with the last name that is recognizable, and have myself some African black babies. I'm gonna have so many of them too. Anyway, guys, a Black Beauty is out, and I love you all. Know who you are. Remember who you are. Peace.